Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Shane McMurray from the Wedding Report. Thanks for being on the show today. We're with Kate, and she's from Ouray, Colorado. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining me on the show. This is our podcast on venues, catering, bar service, and rental companies. So thanks for being on the show. And let's tell me a little bit about yourself and where you guys are at, what your role is at the company, that sort of thing.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for having me, Shane. Really appreciate it. Hi, everybody. I'm Kate Jones. I am the programming director for the Wright Opera House. We are in historic Ouray, Colorado, population year-round of 1,000 residents, but a big tourist destination here. Lots of fun things to do over the summer. We are a very historic building. Our building was built in 1888, and it was built as a performing arts venue, as an opera house, which, short little aside, opera house actually just refers to family-friendly entertainment, not necessarily actual opera. It's just at that time was distinguishing itself from the saloons that were down the way, which was a little bit of a different clientele. But yeah, very old building, and we purchased it a number of years ago and received nonprofit status.
Great.
And we primarily are a performing arts venue, providing concerts, movies, you name it, entertainment here in the town of Ouray. But of course, there's a lot of room in the schedule for private rentals as well. And it's a beautiful building that just lends itself really well to a wedding sort of event. It's very ornate, very elegant, and beautiful space.
Yeah. So what made you guys decide to go and do weddings?
Really, we were looking at the schedule and thinking, during the summer, during the busy season, we are busy. A lot of people are coming in, but with 1,000 year-round residents, there's only so much programming you can do.
Yeah, for sure.
for folks, and what better way for others to enjoy this facility, and get more use out of the schedule, and allow people that are coming in to really be a part of it. So it was kind of just a natural flow. We also had some inquiries at the same time of people who were like, here for an event and thinking, I'm getting married next year and this is perfect for me. So it kind of was a natural flow.
Yeah. I've been to Ouray. It's really beautiful there. It's really cool, the whole thing. So when you guys offer your space, tell me a little bit about what you guys offer. Are you just the venue? Do you offer catering? Do you offer bar rental? What's included?
Yeah, totally. So if you were to rent a space, it's a 9 a.m. to midnight rental all day long. You get a venue staff person, someone on site for that time, and you get a bartender included as well. Nice. Because we have events ongoing, we already have a liquor license. We have a tavern liquor license, so we do handle all the bar components, and there's several add-on packages that you could choose to add on to your rental or not. We've had people that had a dry wedding, and so we don't automatically include it. But we have it's more of like a prep staging kitchen, but it's not a full commercial kitchen. So we don't offer catering, but we do have a list of folks here in town that we like to use, and that's on our preferred vendor list. So whoever was renting would find their own caterer as well. And then we have lists of other people too, vendors that we like, entertainment, etc. But that's
well, the whole town is geared towards tourism, right? I mean, that besides people that just decided they wanted to retire there, but the whole town is kind of geared towards people traveling in and checking it out. So
yeah, it's nice, and as a result, there's a lot of great hotels here as well. So that pairs nicely for folks who, it's a little bit of a destination for a lot of people.
Yeah, there's some great hiking over there, and some good off-road trails if you're into off-roading.
True, and our wonderful hot springs pool. It's lovely.
Yeah. I saw that when I was there. Yeah, I didn't get to go, but I saw it for sure. Yeah. So yeah, that's cool. So let's talk a little bit about like pricing and how much it costs to actually have a wedding there. So you said you guys do 9 to midnight.
Mhm.
What is that a standard package, and what does that include?
Yeah, so and pricing wise, it really depends on the time of year that it is. Because we are a big tourist town, and the tourist season is the summer. It
Yeah.
really is. So we have less availability in the summer. Everybody's busier. So there's a little bit more of a premium price point for that time of year. And then off season would be really November through April, I think is what it's listed at.
Yeah.
And interestingly too, we have we're a building with multiple levels. And so when you come in off the street level, we have sort of our tavern bar space, which is really
Oh,
nice,
cool. Yeah.
which yeah, and it if you were renting, you could rent the whole building. So then you would walk upstairs to the theater space, which is, where most of like the concerts and movies and plays and all that stuff takes place normally, and it lends itself nicely to a formal banquet dinner space.
Mhm.
But folks can choose whether or not they want to rent that whole building, which would include the tavern bar, and then usually there's like cocktail hour down in the tavern bar lounge,
Yeah.
go up for dinner, kind of thing. Or if they're having a smaller, we've been seeing a lot of smaller weddings, like maybe like 50 people.
Okay.
They could just rent one or the other space. So
Yeah.
we break it down that way to help keep it affordable for everybody and
Yeah.
make sure that the building suits your needs. So it kind of depends on, what your capacity needs are and what you're kind of envisioning to inform, what's included. But we do have restrooms on both levels, and there's an elevator, so
Yeah.
it's all
Yeah.
accessible.
Yeah. What's your capacity for a wedding typically?
Yeah, so the entire building can fit, like 400 people, but not
Wow.
seated for dinner. So it just still kind of depends on what the format of the event is. If you were doing like a formal seated dinner, I would say like 180 is a good capacity, just because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't want to be like elbowing too much
Mhm.
with your neighbor and have it be too tight. Um, and then, but if you were just, wanting only to use that tavern bar space, the capacity is 50 for seated.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen wedding numbers go down, guest counts go down quite a bit. I mean, especially during COVID, but they've been going
Yeah.
down in general for a long time. What are you guys seeing on average, like guest counts? I mean, I know it's a travel in destination place, so it's probably less than the average generally, but what are you guys seeing?
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of like 75 is
Okay.
is kind of a number that we're seeing. And then there's, some outliers. There's like the occasional 30, 40 person. And then, sometimes there's like 100, 120, but we haven't seen it fill up to the 160, 180 sort of capacities, maybe once. Um, I don't really know why. Probably primarily because we're more of a
Yeah.
destination place.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to get to here. You have to,
There's one road in.
there's one road in and there's no stoplights. So,
Yeah, yeah. Unless you want to take the four-wheel drive road over to Telluride, there's no other way in or out.
yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and you guys have plenty of capacity hotel wise. So I mean that makes it easy for people to come travel there, right? Even though it's what's the closest town besides I know Telluride and Durango? Like you come in through Durango, or you can come over from Telluride.
Yeah, I would say Montrose, probably a place most people haven't heard of, but they're the closest airport.
Okay,
It's about 45 minutes an hour away from here. And Southwest is flying there now. We're very happy about that.
awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get a direct flight, but that's okay. You can get
Yeah,
there.
well, you might if you go to a smaller regional airport, but maybe not likely. Yeah,
Yeah, the only thing though, we've been having some issues transportation wise. We're such a tiny town.
yeah,
Uber and Lyft are not a thing here. So it's really important that folks are within walking distance from from where we
Yeah,
are to their hotels.
yeah,
And then just in general, when you're coming in from the airport, you're gonna rent a car, or
yeah.
someone's gonna pick you up or something. But
Or you
yeah,
can drive up from
transportation.
where we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
The downtown is only what, 5 or 6 blocks. It's not
Yep.
that big, right? And most of the hotels are kind of in that area, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, it's just, sometimes folks don't quite get the picture of it and want to stay and Telluride and come here because it seems pretty close, but it'd be pretty prohibitive.
It
That's a
is.
dry wedding we're talking about now.
Yeah, it's a day trip. I mean,
It is.
honestly, when we were in Telluride, it was a day trip over to get, to come there, spend some time, kind of really check it out, and then go back. It's
Right.
a day trip,
It is completely. Yep.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was beautiful, but it's a day trip. So make sure you plan accordingly, right?
Yeah, no, it's nice. I think people that are coming in from out of town, want to spend an extra few days on either end and go do these day trips and stuff because
That's
you
right.
can't fit
Yeah.
it all in a
Yeah,
week.
it's such a beautiful area though. That whole Telluride,
Yeah.
Ouray, that whole space over there is really beautiful. So
It is. We pride ourselves in being the most beautiful part of Colorado, but don't tell our folks up at the Rocky Mountain National Forest.
I would agree. I mean, I think it's incredible. Like it's one of the most it's yeah. I mean, the ride in from Arizona or Utah up into Telluride is incredible as well. And then you come around that whole, that big horseshoe kind of road to get back down to Ouray, and then you can go down to Durango.
Yep.
It's incredible. Just that whole, I mean, we went up when it was fall and all the aspen trees were changing colors, and it was just
Yep.
incredible. Like the colors is, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Fall is probably my favorite time of year, but it's always so short.
It is. Well, yeah, I mean, you pretty much go, kind of summer, right into kind of a short fall and then right into winter.
For us, it started like 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's been snowing nonstop. Here we
Wow.
are. So
Yeah, you guys are getting more snow here coming
yeah.
pretty soon. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
probably Wednesday or tomorrow, actually. Yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, more snow. Sorry, it's coming.
Ah.
Let's talk a little bit about like cost controls. What are you guys doing? I know you're kind of remote, so getting supplies in and things like that can sometimes probably be expensive.
Yeah.
And as a venue, what are you guys doing to kind of help mitigate some of that? I mean, as people book out maybe a year from now with you, costs might change significantly. Are you guys building some of that in? And then, we talked a little bit earlier about how you might order some special stuff and that doesn't always work out. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to really keep it bare bones in terms of, what we're providing, what we're including. We do include, tables and chairs, but we're not providing rentals in terms of like place settings, glassware, cutlery, all that stuff. You as the renter would provide or rent.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to keep costs down that way by just keeping it at a minimum in terms of what we supply. We do take care of the bar with our liquor license. And yeah, you mentioned we've had a lot of people, want to have really specific types of liquor and cocktails, etc., which is awesome.
Yeah.
And we've done our best to accommodate in the past. Whenever we were able to get stuff in, if the request came in time, we would definitely accommodate it. But we're starting to see, a little bit of, now we have, the example I used is there was a bride that really loved Jaeger bombs, and it was so fun, the wedding. Oh, I got my phone ringing here, but sorry.
No worries.
The wedding was so fun with the Jaeger bombs, but of course we were left afterward with several bottles of Jaeger that, on our regular nights, on concerts, theater, etc.
Yeah.
The people of Ouray are not doing
They're not doing Jaegers. Yeah.
So, we're kind of stuck with this stuff now. we haven't formally made any kind of rules to help mitigate it, but I think we're just being a little bit pickier about which special requests we're willing to accommodate and which we aren't.
Do you guys allow couples to bring like buy their own alcohol and bring it in, or do you guys is there regulations that restrict them from doing that, or?
We do allow that. They wouldn't be able to charge, of course, why would they? And we would need to still serve it. We would have to have our licensed bartenders serve that alcohol. So in that case, we just ask that the renters, the bride and groom, pay for the bartender.
Nice.
And kind of ensure there's a gratuity there, either by
of course,
a tip jar or whatever.
Something,
because otherwise, they would be covered on our end. But if they're bringing their own alcohol, we just got to take care of our bartenders.
Yeah, you do.
Gotta take care of them.
For sure. That's great. What about we talked a little bit about preferred vendors, and it's a small area, and I know it's mostly people traveling in, and it's a very high tourism area. So do you guys have most of your preferred vendors kind of live in the space, live in the area, or are they from outside? I would say it's a radius. There's this caterer that we love out of Paonia, which is like an hour or hour and a half away from here. And we've got them on the list. That's probably the furthest out. Otherwise, it's people who are here locally. I think we're a little more selective. The folks that we like from Paonia are just professionals, in the truest sense of the word. So, hey, we love to accommodate that. It makes it easier for everybody. Great result for the bride and the groom at the end of the day. But it's been tricky without having our own commercial kitchen. Caterers, there's some people that have their own trailer that they bring and they're cooking out of it, and that's awesome. But other times people are really scrambling to try and make it work. So we'd certainly like to have our list of people that, hey, they know we don't have a full commercial kitchen. They've got their workarounds. They know what to do.
They know what to do. They know the drill. And then just since we were providing, caterers on our preferred vendor list, we just thought we would flesh it out with other people that we just know. It's a small town. We know the florist down the way. We love her. Let's throw her some business. Let's put all those people on our vendor list.
I was going to ask you, how do you go about vetting? Because that part can be a little bit different sometimes, especially if you've not done business with them before, or they haven't did an event, come to your space and do the event. I mean, how do you guys vet them and get them through your I think we can work with these folks?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. We've been really lucky in that there's a local wedding planner, wedding coordinator here in town who we work really closely with. And, maybe it's fallen on her a bit to vet all those people.
She's already done all the vetting for you.
Not that we try to put that work on her, but just it's sort of worked out that way. She's got the insight, she's got the intel, and it's good to have those relationships. I've found that's been really helpful.
That's good. What about leads? How do people find out about you guys? What are you guys doing to attract couples to come there?
I think this is the area where, we're kind of struggling the most. To be honest, we have most of our leads are coming through people in town on their tourist holiday and stumbled in the building and thought, oh my God, this is amazing. My daughter's getting married next year. I have to bring her back. That sort of really direct contact. We've tried a lot of different
leads, by the way.
What's that?
Which are the best leads, by the way,
there's the best return on those too.
For sure.
That's a great scenario when that happens. And it does happen pretty often, but there's all sorts of people who aren't, just walking in the door. We've been a part of Rocky Mountain Bride, is a resource, a database that we're included on. And there's ways to track, we have like a profile there, and there's ways to track kind of clickability and stuff like
Gotcha.
that.
Mhm.
But I don't know that we've seen so much return on that sort of marketing.
Yeah.
It's just coming word of mouth, and I don't necessarily know how to solve it, because we love more bookings, really.
Sure.
It's great. We're a nonprofit, so it really helps support other programming for the community. It's a really great thing, and so we'd love more, and we're like,
Yeah. What about like social media? Have you guys done anything on social media? Just curious. I mean, most most businesses today, especially in the wedding space, are on Instagram and Pinterest. And so I was just curious, are you guys doing anything in that realm?
Yeah, so I think that that's a good point in terms of, because we're primarily like a performing arts space and entertainment space,
Mhm.
most of our social media is geared towards letting people know about events and
Of course.
fun stuff coming up to do in Ouray. But just as you were talking, I was kind of thinking maybe it would make sense to create sort of a sub page that's really more event oriented. We've done a lot of photo shoots
Yeah.
locally too, just like with our local photographers and planners, and kind of help each other out, cross promote. And so we have a lot of great photography of the space, and of course from weddings as well that
Yeah. I
that
would
have
use
happened.
it.
And so
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, I would use that and post it up there because,
yeah,
as people are looking for stuff, I mean,
yeah,
historic buildings in general are on the rise for people getting married at.
yeah,
They have been
yeah.
for
And
a
it does have
while.
a specific look. It's very Victorian,
Mhm.
it's very elegant of a space. So it lends itself really well, but I think it is a specific bride. It's not a modern space. It's a
Yeah, it's an
historic,
older, it's a
ornate.
historic space. People
Yeah,
that are, like you said, it's more an elegant, maybe some formalities or things like that to
yeah,
wedding, right? Would be more conducive to that.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. It has a grand staircase, which is a beautiful photo op. So we get a
oh
lot of
yeah,
interest there.
I would imagine. Yeah, for sure. Hey, my last question for you, Kate. So if you had to go back 3 to 5 years, what would you tell yourself?
Well, 3 to 5 years ago, really thinking about how this space could be used as a venue for weddings, in addition to all the other performing arts stuff. I thought it was going to be a lot easier. I thought we were going to have a lot more bookings just, out the gate, and just because it's a space that lends itself perfectly. But I'd
Yeah.
probably, tell myself that, hey, it's not as easy as it seems. You really have to track those leads, and it's going to take time, I think, word of mouth wise, that, hey, this is something we do as well, and
Yeah.
get the word out there. But it wasn't instant. It was not instant.
Well, you guys are how many years in now? Three years for weddings?
Yeah, for weddings, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, you kind of started right before the pandemic, and that
Mhm.
kind of probably took a big hit, through that. But now that things are coming back, you just got to keep at it. I would agree with you. I think the space, I mean, you're already doing events, you're already doing other types of stuff there. Beautiful city to come to and travel to. Yeah, I can totally see it being a huge destination spot
Yeah.
for people. So yeah, I would say just keep going
Right
at
here. Here we are.
it. Keep going at it. Hey, thanks so much for being on the show. Really appreciate it. And have a good one.
Thank you so much, Jane. Thanks for having me.
All right.